Now that the pavilion of our aqua has been cut, polished, and then transferred by Ed, Claire is ready to finish this aquamarine by cutting the crown or the top half of the stone. The cheater is used first to square and correct any error that may have occurred during the transfer. Once this is adjusted, Claire will start by putting in the upper girdle facets with a grinding lap. At this point, the process of laying in the pattern on the crown is very similar to the pavilion, although the pattern and the angles will differ. The pattern chosen for this aquamarine is a clean step cut that we feel complements the brilliant pattern that was developed on the pavilion. A quick side note, water is used as a coolant throughout the cutting process. If the stone gets too warm, it doesn't take long for it to melt the wax and fly off the dot. After the upper girdles, the upper main facets are put into place. Then a third row is created by bringing down the table from the top. This will be shown momentarily, but the table is a large facet at the top of the stone, and to cut it, Claire will need to add extra hardware to get the 90-degree angle needed. The table can be tricky to lay in correctly and symmetrically, so Claire will take her time here, making sure that the table facet is square as it's being ground into place. Any error here only becomes more exaggerated as she continues. Once the table is in place, it's time to start polishing the crown. The first facet Claire will polish is the table. Again, she'll take her time here watching that she doesn't over-polish one side, which would immediately affect the symmetry of all the other facets. When the table is finished, the upper girdle facets get polished next, followed by the upper mains, and then the third row. As the last of the facets on the crown come to conclusion with a polish, the final row of facets to revisit are the original facets located on the girdle. With the girdle polished and a double check that everything looks satisfactory, the stone gets removed from the dop, cleaned, and weighed. The finished aqua here weighed in at 4.02 carats, and starting with an 8.75 carat piece of rough, Claire was able to pull off an astounding 46% yield. In the next chapter, we will be designing and making a ring for this aquamarine.